everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna be sewing up some cute fall items, and a few of them will have my very own fabric. So I got my order in from Spoonflower. I ordered a yard of each of my illustrations, and unfortunately a few of them turned out way too big. So the same issue I had in my first order. So for example, I have this pumpkin one, and I wanted the pumpkins to be smaller so that they would look good as like an inner fabric on pencil cases and book sleeves, but unfortunately they're printed a little bit too large. However, when I first saw this print, I thought, you know what, that could be really cute on some pajama shorts or a tote bag. So I'm gonna be sewing a fall tote bag with this fabric and using my orange gingham as the inner fabric, and I just thought that would be really cute. I love having a seasonal tote bag. You all seem to really love watching the process of making them, so that's going to be our first project today. I really wanted to do the pajama shorts, but unfortunately I was just a little bit short on the amount of fabric I needed because I have to cut out 2 front panels and 2 back panels. I didn't quite have enough for that. So we'll do a different fabric for those, but super excited for the tote. Then I have here this butterfly fabric, which I love. They are a little bit bigger than I was wanting because I want them a little bit smaller, so when they're on pencil cases or wallets, the butterflies are not getting chopped off, but it worked perfectly for this makeup bag. If you follow me on Instagram, then you already seen the process of me making this. But I absolutely love this fabric. I love the colors. Super cute for fall. So the print worked perfectly for a medium-sized makeup bag, but when it comes to my pencil cases, I think I just want the butterflies a little bit smaller. Fingers crossed that my next order coming this week, all of the scaling is correct. Even though I scaled a bunch of these prints down and it looked great in the proofing and like example that Spoonflower has, whenever they're printed on the fabric, they still look way too big. So like this one, I don't know what I'm gonna use this with. It is huge. These were supposed to be like a similar size to these butterflies. I was thinking like potentially a pillow cover could look good with this fabric, so maybe we'll do that. I did show a sneak peek of this design, which I absolutely love. I love frogs. This is actually one of the first illustrations I did for fall stickers a few years back, and I think it's so cute. So I'm planning to do a book sleeve out of this and then use the orange gingham as the inner lining as well, because that is what I'm going to do with the actual print. Then the one fabric that I plan on using that is not my design is this mushroom fabric, and I'm kind of leaning towards making the cozy shorts out of this. And the main reason why I definitely want to do shorts is because my serger needs some love. I have not used it in a while, so I thought some shorts would be fun. I love wearing loungy clothes. As soon as I get home from work, I get cozy into lounge shorts or pants. So that'd be fun to make some shorts. The very first shorts that I made, which if I have a picture, I'll insert here, I did not have my serger yet. So the night that I wore them, they ripped. So I really want to make a new pair and make it right and have them be more sturdy so I don't have to worry about them ripping when I want to wear them. Let's go ahead and get started on making a quilted tote bag with this pumpkin fabric. I do a 13 by 17 rectangle, and I normally always cut a little bit extra. So instead of doing 13 at the start, I'll do like 13 and a half or 14. So that way if I have like raw edges, or like on this fabric, it has a white border, I'm just taking into account any movement, raw edges, all of that. There's our starting outer fabric. I feel like this is gonna be really cute. Subtle, but hopefully really cute for fall. So of course we'll still iron that out, and then we'll have to quilt it. And then we'll cut out my orange gingham. I love gingham prints, especially for fall. It just really gives like pumpkin patch. I really love it for spring too, because it's kind of like a picnic. But of course I had to do some gingham prints, which this is a bit larger than I want. I want it a little bit smaller so that way if I do use it in a book sleeve or like a pencil case, I just want them a little bit smaller. So I did scale this one down a little bit as well for my next order, but I'm just gonna cut this the exact same way that I did the outer fabric. So 13 by 17. Okay, so for the gingham fabric, I did write down all my measurements. So I need to do straps, a tie, and then we'll need like an outside pocket and an inside pocket. So for my strawberry tote, I did the straps at 4 by 25, and that was the method where I just turned them right side out, which did work fine, but I want to add some kind of padding to this one. So I'm kind of thinking if I have enough fabric, maybe I'll cut it at 6 by 25, and hopefully that will be okay for the 4-way fold method. And then something else that I want to do that I keep forgetting to do every time I make a tote bag is I want to add a little loop somewhere. Maybe I'll add a loop by the start of the strap and on the pocket. That way I could put little keychains and stuff on my tote. I keep forgetting to do that. Every time I make a tote bag, I'm like, dang it, I wanted to do a keychain loop. And then we'll have the tie at 3.5 by 15, the outside pocket, which we'll need to do an inside fabric at 5.5 by 8, and then we have the inside pocket. So let's just go ahead and start with the straps and see how much fabric I have left. Okay, all of my fabrics are cut. I'm waiting for my iron to heat up. And while I wait for that, I wanted to chat with you all a little bit on launching my own fabrics. I know a lot of you are really excited for it. I can't wait to be able to do that. But right now the dilemma I'm having is finding a manufacturer that offers yards of fabric at a decent price without sacrificing the quality. And why that's a dilemma is, for example, I'm getting a yard of fabric from Spoonflower for about $14. So for it to be worth me selling the fabric, I would have to charge probably like a minimum of $16 to $20 a yard. And majority of people do not want to spend that for a yard of fabric, which I totally get. Like when I go to Hobby Lobby fabric stores, I'm right around the like $10 to $14 range. And I did a poll over on Instagram and asked you all a couple of different options about how much you normally spend for fabric. And majority said they will never spend more than $14. So that's the dilemma, because if I'm getting it for $14, then I have to charge more than that for it to make sense on the business side of things. And right now, the only place that I've been able to find that offers custom yards of fabric for less than that is Fabric on Demand. However, with them, you're definitely getting what you pay for. The print quality is just not there. So I will not be using them because obviously I want to be able to offer you all the best pricing and best quality I can, but I still have to be able to make a profit or it's just not worth it for my business. So I really think most of these fabric shops, Hobby Lobby, Michaels, are getting their fabrics overseas, or at the very least they're getting their blank fabrics and then they're printing it in-house, which obviously I would love to be able to do that, but those fabric printers are very expensive and I cannot afford that. Yeah, that's my dilemma right now. But the iron is heating up, so hopefully it will be coming one day. I just need to keep researching and probably just keep ordering samples and just try and find a really great manufacturer to be able to sell my own fabrics, because that would be so fun. And that is definitely like my next goal and dream in my sewing journey. But yeah, let's go ahead and iron out all of my tote bag fabrics and start getting this sewn up. Okay, all my pieces are prepped. I'm going to start with quilting the outer fabric here. I'm hoping it's gonna look cute since the pumpkins are pretty spaced out, but with the orange gingham as the accent, I'm hoping it's gonna look good for fall. So let's go ahead and do a diamond stitch. I love the way diamond stitching looks. So I'm gonna do that on this tote. I think I've done that to every tote I've made, and it just looks really nice. So I'm gonna break out my quilting bar, then I'll sew all the straps and pockets, then we'll be ready to start putting the tote bag together. You can see I love the way the diamond stitching looks. I just think it looks so nice and professional. So before we actually sew the two outer pieces together, I need to sew the front pocket on. So for my straps, I normally line it up so the middle of the strap is lined up with the edge of the pocket. So I'm kind of thinking, I wonder if I want to put a little loop right here on the edge. So that way if I have any longer keychains, they'll still have, they won't be laying on the ground because this one's a little bit lower. Maybe I put this here and I have a higher up keychain loop. Okay, so I did that. Got a little loop here. So I need to do the ties. Alrighty, now I just need to prep the inner fabric. All right, we're gonna cut the 2-inch squares from my inside fabric. All right, so inner fabrics, front sides facing. And then I'm gonna do the exact same thing, sew the edges, the bottom, and then box the corners. I forgot to mention also leaving a hole at the bottom to turn everything right side out once we sew the outer and inside together. So I'm going to put, I want the pocket on the back side. So I'm just going to insert the outer pieces inside my inside fabric and then sew all around the top here, attaching the 2 layers. And just make sure whenever you're doing this that you are keeping an eye on your straps because you don't want to accidentally like sew that up and have it attached there. So just make sure they're laying nice and flat. But I'll take it to my sewing machine, sew all around here, and then turn it all right side out and then do a nice top stitch around the top as well. Okay, I think it turned out so cute. My cat keychain is definitely a little too big and heavy for it still. I was hoping that was gonna work, but a lighter weight keychain I think will be perfect. But I think it turned out adorable. I did not realize how much of this fabric I have. I have a ton. I don't know why I bought so much. But let me just put this off to the side. I could do like a whole matching set and all kinds of stuff with this fabric. I'm gonna be following Rosary Apparel's free shorts pattern. So I'll have the video linked down below and the pattern is completely free. I think you just have to sign up for the notifications on her website and you can get the pattern. However, before we get started, I did try on the first pair I made and I wanna shorten it a little bit. The pattern does include a lengthen, shorten line. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut there and then maybe take about an inch off. Okay, I took it in about an inch. You can see where I'm reattaching the pattern. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up her video tutorial because I have not made these in a while. So let me do that and then get to cutting this fabric. I do also want to mention that this pattern does come with pockets, but I will not be doing the pockets. These are just lounge shorts, so I'm not too worried about that. Perfect. Okay, done with those. Okay, so let's iron out the front piece. Okay, so we have our back pieces. Then we have our front piece. So we're gonna do front sides facing. And if you did the pocket, you would line up the pockets, but because I did not, we're just gonna line up the edge here. So I'll take this to my sewing machine and just sew right down this edge. And basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do like regular sewing, and then I'll go back in and do the serger or overlocking. Been a while since I've used this. Okay, now it's time to sew the inseam. So line up here, but she does a really great job explaining everything in the video tutorial. So highly recommend if you want to make your first pair of shorts. This is a very easy pattern. So I'm just gonna sew along here and then overlock it. One right side out. This one, and stick it inside this fabric. So right sides are facing. That will probably be good. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna take this to my sewing machine and I'm going to sew right along this edge, leaving a small opening that I can then insert the elastic. That I did that I didn't do the last time and noticed was a big issue is I did a second top stitch to hopefully catch that elastic and keep it from twisting and turning. That's something that I noticed that my first pair of shorts does really bad, and unfortunately I can't really fix it. So I did that. I don't know if you can kind of tell, there's a double top stitch, and basically what I did is just stretch this out and help feed it through to that second stitch, and then I can kind of feel that I did catch the elastic a little bit, and that's exactly what I wanted. We recommend using a ribbed elastic, which can help prevent that twisting and turning, which I just have like a normal elastic. So that is an option that you can do if you want to hopefully help prevent that. But last step for our shorts is to hem the bottom. This is another time that one of those normal like folding irons would come in handy. That way you could slip the leg hole through it and it makes it way easier to give an even hem. But I'm just gonna do my best here. So we're gonna fold it once and then we'll fold it again, but I'm gonna try and get this all even. And I thought about overlocking this, but she doesn't. And I don't know that it really matters because I am doing the double fold hem. You won't even see the raw edge. Okay, I'm gonna do the other leg. Okay, shorts are done. I definitely want to go a little bit more in the length, as well as need to make the elastic smaller because they're a little big, but they're supposed to be comfortable, so I'm not too worried about that. But there's a lot of fabric in the like midsection here, so I'm kind of wondering if I just need to take a little bit off of the front panels and leave the back the way it is. So I'll probably try that for my next pair. Another thing I really want to try is a buttonhole with a tie, so we'll probably try that as well. And I still need to do my like cozy lounge set video, so maybe we'll try that then. But let's go ahead and make a pumpkin frog book sleeve. I think that's going to be really cute, and it's going to go really nicely with my pumpkin tote bag. You all have seen me cut book sleeves a ton, so I'm just going to try and cut this out real quick. This is another one that I made a little bit smaller than this print because I want it to hopefully still work on pencil cases or whatever else I decide to launch for fall. If you're curious what I'm currently reading, I am listening to the last Harry Potter book, The Deathly Hallows, and I'm so sad that they're almost over. I have loved them so much. I highly recommend giving the full cast audiobooks a try if you are a fan of audiobooks, if you're a fan of Harry Potter. So fun and immersive. So I'm kind of thinking once I finish the Harry Potter, I'm going to try the full cast audios of Red Rising. I've heard really great things about them. I've heard a couple snippets of it as well, and it seems really cool. Pumpkin frog is a decent size for a large book sleeve, but I just want my fabrics to be more universal, so they'll fit book sleeves or wallets, pencil cases, whatever it may be, small projects, large projects. But I'm gonna go ahead and trim off all of the batting and then sew all of the pieces together and get this knocked out. It's already 5 o'clock. So if I don't film more this week, then this will be the last project for this video. So I hope you all really enjoyed watching me sew with my own fall fabrics, besides the mushroom fabric here. I had to do this like tan color for the inside of the pocket because I ran out of my orange gingham. That's going to be it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me sew a few things with my own fabrics, plus the cozy shorts. So I'll see you in my next video very soon. Bye!